Hey everyone, Billy from Gym City Welding. Just wanted to do a short video and bring everybody up to date and up to speed who's been looking for the next video. I haven't forgot about you. Couple things to explain. This time of year, it's always a busy time of year for me because of the nature of my job. Fall and winter time, it's just I'm incredibly busy and I'm pressed for time. So the next video that's going to be coming was originally going to be a two-part video, but I think I'm just decided to make it a single video. So look for that soon. I promise that's coming. Something else I wanted to touch upon was I've got some questions from some people who've been watching some of the older videos, some of the first ones I did, who are currently in the same kind of process with their own cars. And so I just wanted to address some of those questions. It's easier to do that in this format and just go ahead and put that out there. So I'll just go ahead and start right with it. The first one is, and forgive me if I butcher somebody's name or mispronounce something incorrectly. It's not intentional, I'm terrible with names. This one would be from the Building a Lowrider Part 3, removing the chassis on a 64 Impala SS. The question, Joe Afu, Afu, do you think a lowrider club will build you a lowrider if you paid them? Man, that's a tough question. I don't really know how to answer that, to be honest with you. My experience with clubs is most of them try to encourage you to do your own thing, to build your own car how you see fit. You know, is there a club out there that you could join that would maybe build you a cart? Absolutely, I'm sure it's possible, but that concept is foreign to me. I've never run into that, so it's hard for me to answer that question. So I apologize about that, but do some homework, do some research if that's your end game, your goal with what your journey is with your car. You know, and to each his own. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying, you know, that's a possibility. The next one would be, and both of the next two questions are from the same video, which is the frame reinforcing on the 64 Impala Lowrider Part 10. The first one was Michael Zubel. I hope I'm saying that right, Michael. Forgive me if I'm not. He says, one thing I'm anxious to learn is which holes you can cover up with plate and which ones to make sure you don't cover up. Nice thing is I also have my car as a reference, but maybe something to keep in mind for your viewers who don't have a second frame. Man, you are right on the money. That is a good point. That's something I was going to kind of touch on in the next video that you guys will see coming up. But just a quick overview of that whole thing. I can't speak for the G bodies, even though I own one and I've never had the body off the frame. But specifically the 58 to 64X frames cars, and more specifically the 64 cars, I can tell you that it's really up to the builder, because some stuff on the 64 Impala chassis people don't retain. Like there's some things that I'm not reusing, like the e-brake stuff, all that's gone. I 86 that, I think, in like the first or second video. I can't really remember, but there are some things like bumper bracket bolts, the front fender, like, I don't know if you want to call them strut bars. I don't really know what they're called, but they run from the fenders to the frame on the front near the core support. Those would bolt in. So if you want to retain those, you know, if you covered that up with plate, you would have to open those holes up or devise some kind of way to reattach those. I can tell you that as a Impala owner, and 58 to 64 guys, we're very fortunate that the GM measurements for the frames, like motor mounts, body mounts, steering gearboxes, all that stuff is available online. It comes in a schematic. You can find it, just a quick Google search of X frames. You'll see it, and it has dimensions, you know, this point to this point, these points to these points, and side to side. So that will help determine what things, you know, where things go, what things you can get rid of, and things you want to add. Like a lot of people will add convertible body mounts to their hardtop chassis to help eliminate some of the flex that is in these cars. So yeah, that's kind of just a quick overview of that whole thing, but I'll touch more on that in the next video. Also, Lone Star Lows, they did the 60 frame. That's currently, they're still working on that car, and they kind of touch upon some of that in their videos. So if you're new to this stuff, or if you're just searching lowrider stuff in general and haven't found the Lone Star Lows guys yet, find that channel. A lot of resources on there. Good guys, they'll help you out. Let's see, second question is from S. Paul, EST Paul. I hope that's right. He says, I want to do my 86 Cutlass frame. I have done a lot of car work / removed motors and learned how to weld, but never went this far. I'm struggling with doing this myself or paying someone. Do you recommend this for a beginner after doing it? How do you know where the motor mounts go after reinforcing the belly and covering the mounting holes? Okay, so the last part of that question I just kind of addressed. Again, that stuff's available. It's out there. Just find that schematic. It's really easy. And if you're converting to like an LS, the Dirty Dingo motor mounts are sliders. So, there's certain things with like motor pitch and rear end angles that you need to take into consideration if you're not doing a stock motor mount. If you're going to plate over your stock motor mounts, it's best to just take measurements from fixed points on the frame, from like say a control arm bolt to a motor mount bolt. That's not going to change for a conventional small block Chevy, be it a 265 all the way up to a 350, 400 block. That's all pretty conventional standard stuff. Unless you have an early block that doesn't have side motor mounts, then that's a whole nother issue, but I don't think anybody's going to have that problem. So again, look for that schematic. To answer the first part of your question, I'm struggling with doing this myself. Should I pay somebody? Do you recommend this for a beginner after doing it? Man, that's a tough question to answer. Again, it's kind of 50-50. If you're a hands-on person who is really good at learning as you go and don't mind, getting your hands dirty and reaching out and asking people, like, kind of like this here, I say go for it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people in this industry who are really good people, who are really knowledgeable people and friendly, and who are willing to help to an extent. And if you have the tooling, like if you have a welder, you have a garage space, a basic hand grinder, I really haven't had too much of an overhead cost with like buying fancy tools. Now, I went through 1,000,001 flat discs and cutoff wheels initially in the beginning, but as you've seen through my videos, when I bought that plasma, the plasma changed everything. So yeah, that's the one tool that I just can't live without. I've learned that. I learned my lesson. You got to have it. And guys back in the day didn't have those, and my hat's off to them. That's a lot of hard work, hands-on work. So if you have the space to do it, if you have those basic tools, basic hand tools, and you're in a position to where your car can sit with the body off the frame, that all those things will help. I've known guys to build entire complete cars in carports. That is doable. It's a lot harder, and depending on where you live, that can be even worse, because like right now where I'm at here in Ohio, it's winter. We got snow outside, so that would be tough. There's, in my opinion, this is just me talking, it's not the gospel, it's just me. There's nothing wrong with paying somebody to either build you a full build, or just do a certain part of your project. As a matter of fact, I encourage guys, reach out to your local mom and pop shops if you have one in your area or in your town, or even if you don't. There's a lot of people that just do things by mail order. You can buy uppers and lowers. So if that's a struggle for you, then you can, go that route. There's guys that sell completely wrapped frames, and we'll ship them to you. So there's many different directions you can go, but my word of encouragement to you, Paul, would be, if you're, if this is a lifelong dream of yours and you've got the patience and time and obviously money, because let's be honest, it's not cheap. If you have all those things, go for it. If you hit a roadblock, you hit a stumbling block, find somebody who can help you and just keep moving forward. And someday you'll get to where next thing you know, you're hitting a switch and you're going down the road. So yeah, so I hope that answers your questions, guys. That's just a couple of the that I've got lately. I try to answer them back, on YouTube. I've just been incredibly busy with life and haven't had a chance to do that. But look for the next build video, it's coming. And I'm also, let's see, I'm on the X-Frame group on Facebook now. So all of you that have tuned in from that group, thank you for coming and checking us out and watching me with my build. And just a quick shout out, Lone Star Lows, Switches by Jay, RJ Tickler, you guys know him probably, or I know him as Joe on YouTube, but he's RJ Tickler on there. CCE Hydraulics, big shout out to those guys. Lowrider Hydraulics, huge shout out to those guys over there doing what they're doing. You can find them on eBay. That's Lowrider Hydraulics. Which, a guy like that, if you need a part and you just simply can't make it because you don't feel like you have the skill set or the tools necessary, he's a guy that's doing things and making big waves with his parts, and they're, from what I'm seeing, what everybody's told me, they're great parts. You can't go wrong, and he's a nice guy to boot. And obviously, check out Cadillac Dan Show, Dan on YouTube. He's a great guy, a very friendly guy, very knowledgeable guy, especially about big body Cadillacs and G body stuff. He can make them move. So check those guys out. And of course, if you have any questions for me beyond this, I'm always willing to help as much as I can. The X-Frame car stuff, like I'm doing with the Impala, that is new to me, but I'm not new to the lowrider hydraulic scene. I did that stuff 20 some years ago, and I'm just coming full circle, getting back into it now. So yeah, I'm a little rusty at some of the stuff, but like my frame, you guys will see in the next video, I am completely done with the fabrication. It's completely welded out, and I'm looking at starting my control arms, my rear axle housing, and just keep on moving on and trying to get through this winter. So hang tight, hang in there with me, and I'll get another video out soon. And as always, thanks for checking us out. Please like, share, subscribe. That always helps me out, and it helps spread the word of what we're doing. So again, thank you, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.